want you all to give a DNC welcome to our new chair of the Democratic National Committee, Chairman Ken Martin. The fight's not in here. The fight's out there, right? The fight's not in here. The fight is for our values. The fight is for working people. The fight right now is against Donald Trump and the billionaires who bought this country. That's the fight, not in here.
Ken Martin, who was a longtime state party leader in Minnesota, has been elected to serve as the new chair of the Democratic National Committee, which shows that the Democratic Party is, in my opinion, content on continuing on with their losing brand of politics, and they're clinging on by their fingernails. Now, even Politico couldn't help but admit that the party languishing has no plan to change. Okay, so they write that, keep in mind, Ken Martin and Ben Wickler were the two frontrunners. And when it comes to these two, neither Martin nor the pick of much of the establishment, Ben Wickler of Wisconsin, were promising a major overhaul of the party. And in selecting Martin, Democrats did little to answer some of the deepest questions their party faces as they search for a path out of the political wilderness. The deeper questions like, what do we represent? What is our identity? Who is the leader of the party? And I'm not just talking about the chair of the DNC. No one cares about that. Who is the political leader of our party? But Martin would like you to think otherwise. He told Politico that this is a new DNC. We're taking the gloves off. He also said, I've always viewed my role as a chair of the Democratic Party to take the low road, so my candidates and elected officials can take the high road, meaning I'm going to throw a punch. So who exactly is Ken Martin? What do we know about him? Well, again, he served as the vice chair of the fabulous and highly successful Harris-Walz campaign, which helped Trump sweep all battleground states and secure the popular vote. He was a-
Hold on. But he was good in Minnesota. He was. Well, I'm gonna give you context here.
Okay. He was the Minnesota State Party leader. Okay, so Cenk
where they passed a lot of good left-wing bills.
True. You know what? You're right. You're right about that. So good point. Now, his election marks the first time since 2011 that the DNC will not be run by either a woman or a person of color. There was some criticism over that. But to be fair, billionaire donors to the Democratic Party really wanted Wickler to win rather than Ken Martin to win. So LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman and George Soros's Democracy PAC kicked in $250,000 each to the Forward PAC backing Wickler for chair. Let's pause for a second. Why? Why?
Oh, you know why.
But why are they? No, I know why. I know that the money is really it's bribes. I get it. But why do they need money to run for DNC chair?
Oh, they're gonna lobby those voters like crazy, for sure. So look, guys, so super important question there. So by the way, side note, Ben Wickler, he's one of the this is why I get dispirited, especially with electoral politics, because I'm sure you guys don't know, when he first came in, we've been around forever, right? When he first came in as a progressive, and he's still to some degree pretending to be a progressive and has some folks that are on that side on his side. He's the one that shut down the primaries in Wisconsin. So the reason the establishment and the billionaires backed him is when he was given an order to shut down primaries, he did. So I'm thrilled that he lost. So Ben, maybe you should have stayed a progressive, and that would have been the better way to go, instead of oh my God, Pelosi's endorsing me. Oh, you got Pelosi's endorsement at the wrong time. Oops.
Schumer endorsed him. Yeah. Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, endorsed him.
All the governors endorsed him because they know he's going to shut out any populist. He's going to do as he's ordered, et cetera. So he lost. Ken Martin won. Ken Martin backed by some of the Bernie folks. Marianne Williamson was in the race, dropped out at the end and said vote for Ken Martin.
No, Faz Shakir. Wasn't it Faz Shakir?
No, both. No, Faz stayed in the race and got 2 votes.
Right.
He was the campaign chair for Bernie Sanders in 2020. Marianne Williamson dropped out at the end and said vote for Ken Martin. Okay, so Martin's a mixed bag. He's a mixed bag, and he kind of has to be a mixed bag. So that's why this story is kind of interesting. So he's also the one that said, and do we have this clip of him saying that we got the good guy billionaires?
We don't have that clip for this story, but we've played it on the show before. John and I talked about it last Wednesday. If you guys want to check that out. Let me just also note one other thing. He was one of 4 contenders for DNC chair who did not raise their hand when asked whether the DNC should ban corporate PAC donations.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so in case you didn't see the earlier episode, he said it's okay for us to take billionaire money because we have the good billionaires. Okay, that's what the right wing is saying now about Elon Musk taking over the treasury. It's okay because our donors are the good guys. Our billionaires are good. Yeah, so that's absurd when either party does it. So that's the downsides of Ken Martin for sure. And do I think that he's going to be fair during the primaries in adjudicating different DNC things that are going to be really important to who we pick as our candidate in 2028? No, I have no idea. Okay, because people go in, even if they're half good and half bad, they come out all bad, right? So I give you no faith or trust in Ken Martin, and he's gonna have to earn that. If he earns it, then great, I'm thrilled if he earns it. Was he the better choice out of the ones that were left at the end? Probably, right? But we're always with the Democratic Party damned with the choices that we have, right? It's always a low bar. Now, having said that, I don't object to him saying, look, I'm gonna come out swinging and I'm gonna punch them in the face. Now, why do I not object to that? Since I'm not doing that strategy. Normally I would do that strategy, but I'm saying, look, like the Democrats are down now. 31% approval, 57% disapproval from the country. Nearly 2-1, that's an epic disaster, epic. You've got to turn around. So I'm not happy that he's saying that we're not going to turn around. Like, no, brother, you got to turn around in some ways, right? So make sure you do that. So that I have an issue with. But whereas I might want to say, hey, listen, guys, shift in strategy. Since we've got to win back the voters, we need to talk to them. We need to have a national conversation. We need to make our case. And that's fine for me to do it in media. But the head of the DNC should be trying to kick Republican ass. And oftentimes they've erred on the opposite side of that. They've been way too, you remember when Jamie Harrison took on the Republicans? Yeah, neither do I. Okay, and
who? No, I'm just kidding.
Barely though. I mean, did you know Jamie Harrison was the head of the DNC? He was put in by the establishment to kill off primaries to Biden, and he did that. Oops.
My favorite moment from the whole DNC chair election event was in the very beginning. Jamie Harrison was giving a speech and he was interrupted by protesters. I don't know what the protesters were saying. You can't really hear what they're chanting, but he stopped them and said something along the lines of, Democrats aren't in charge. Basically, don't expect anything from us. And he said, Republicans control the executive branch, they control Congress. They're the ones, if you have issues, take it up with them. Like basically go protest them. Okay, I get it. I get that they're in power. I get that they're in charge, but voters are hungry, like left-wing voters are hungry for the opposition party to Donald Trump to do something, or at least appear to be doing something to fight back. And there's been Trump has just entered his 3rd week in office. There's been absolutely no significant pushback from Democrats. There's been no strategy, there's no identity, there's no real leader. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, on the strategy front. So earlier in the show, I asked other left-wing hosts to try to come up with a strategy because it seems that their main thing is let's just yell at the Republicans harder, and as if that's going to convince anyone. And we have a different strategy that we've talked about here, which is start a national conversation. I just explained it, right? So if you're running the DNC, forget rando online left-wing hosts. You should definitely have a strategy. So just saying, hey, they're in charge, don't ask me. No. They're in charge, and here's what they did wrong. Here's what we would do differently. But the most important thing that Ken Martin or anyone in that position has to do is the hardest one of all, which is to convince the voters that if they put you back in charge, you're actually going to do the things you say. Because Democrats almost never do the things that they're going to say. Trump told you he was going to fire a whole bunch of the federal government. He told you he was going to start deporting people. He's told you all these things that we don't agree with, but he immediately started doing it, and his base is super activated. By the way, he's gaining in the polls because it looks like he's taking action. So somehow Ken Martin has to convince people That if a Democrat says they're for paid family leave, that they're actually for paid family leave. Because they haven't been for decade after decade after decade.
People don't believe them anymore. Yeah. And you say this all the time, get caught trying. And when it comes to Trump, even if the action he's about to engage in is illegal and will be reversed by the courts immediately, he gets caught trying. And look, I hate that. Democratic voters hate that. But think about what that message is to his supporters. It messages to his supporters that when he says something, he means it and he's gonna fight for it. We need that on the Democratic side as well.
Yeah, so last thing is I wanna go to this last clip that we have, the I think clip 5, the one from where they raise their hands, right?
Yep.
So let's show you that and then I wanna comment on it.
I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good, you all pass.
Did you? Okay, so look guys, I don't mind the people who raise their hands because did racism, misogyny play some role? Sure, some folks are misogynistic, some people are racist, etc. 5%, 10%, 25%, we could have a conversation, right? I mind the question because what he's doing is he's saying, now I need all of you to raise your hand and say that we didn't lose because we have corporate Democrats who promised you that corporate CEOs would be in charge. We didn't lose because of, we had these wild, outrageous things that were totally unpopular with the American people. We didn't lose because of any of that. I need you to all raise your hand and say we lost because of racism and misogyny. And when they do, he goes, now good boys and girls, remember everyone else is racist. I mean, I can't imagine a worse strategy. You're down 31 to 57. If you call the 57 racist and Nazis and sexist, do you think they're going to be likely to come to your side? Or should you go to them with paid family leave? We're gonna take care of you if you have a baby. Higher minimum wage, we're gonna give you higher wages. Just constantly calling the other side names is the dumbest strategy. And insisting that everybody at DNC raise their hands to do it is maddening. So yeah, and by the way, last one of the DNC advisors said that she was really disappointed that a white male won because she said African-American women deliver for the party, which is absolutely true. And then she says, but we never get representation in leadership. What was Kamala Harris? I mean, that is an insane thing to say after the presidential candidate was an African-American woman. But you're never represented in leadership? Come on, guys.
Yeah, that was Marilyn Davis, Democratic operative. I'm gonna read the statement verbatim. Black women have always been the backbone of our party. We show up for our communities and our party in every election, yet time and time again, we are overlooked when it comes to the top leadership positions in our party.
How about the very top one? How about the very top one running for president, commander in chief, and the most powerful person on earth? If that's not good enough, maybe your standards are not exactly right, and maybe you're not thinking about this in the right way. That the American people aren't going, oh, have they represented blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah enough? Or maybe they're thinking, hey, are you ever gonna do anything for me, the voter? That's what you should be focused on. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.